Hello everybody, it is me Darcy. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Unnamed Podcast where I sit here with this guy for about a time talking rubbish.
Yeah.
But remember, we are here for a good time, not a long time, but also a long time.
Yes.
But maybe not. Maybe not.
But then the conversation is.
Yes. As we often do, let's get started by ridiculing Kris. Kris, you're ridiculous.
Thank you.
Job done. That is the definition of ridicule. We called him ridiculous. Ridicule, done.
Exactly.
And now we'll do what we often do and start with a little bit of channel news.
Okay. Indeed. Well, Monday was satisfactory. Now I think we're up to date with everything.
Yes, we
Yeah.
are.
Okay.
Yes, that was it.
You know, I feel like that room.
Why does that always happen?
Normally that's me. It's rare for that.
Yeah, I don't know why it always does that.
Are you
Like-
forgetting what you put out this week?
No. I
No?
just haven't actually looked at the channel for a while
Oh, fair enough.
because I've actually been on top of things for once.
Oh, well there you go.
Yeah, I know. It's a fucking shock.
Yeah, that is true. But yes, yeah, no, it was the last recorded part of Satisfactory, so yeah, we're now at a point where I have finished setting up as many coal generators as possible for the time being.
Yes,
There will be more.
I
do plan on pumping more and more fumes into that air.
Yeah. So basically, what happened in this one? I went and did what I needed to do. Lots of science was achieved.
Yes.
I've run into an issue with some of the stuff I'm doing. It's cool. Like I'm doing some cool stuff with cool alien stuff, and I'm really pissing off the dead aliens.
Yes.
They're constantly screaming at me, being like, "Stop touching my stuff," and I'm just like, "Excuse me, I touch all the stuff."
Your habitat's about to be gone and you'll never be here again.
But there's an issue because what I thought I was achieving isn't what I'm actually achieving, and
Okay.
so I was kind of sitting there being like, okay, if we get this, we should be good. But then it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't exactly what I wanted. So
Alright.
I now have a whole bunch more research to do. I also have a bunch of research that's like, when we played last time, all the research was just doable. Now you've got to do things like bring hard drives in and do research with hard drives,
Oh, yeah.
which is going to slow down my research drastically
You've gotta
because it
find
means
them.
I've got to find hard drives.
Yeah.
And it means I've got to not only find hard drives, but sacrifice any blueprints on those hard drives to do stuff science-wise. But we do need the science-wise stuff. It's just, a pain in the butt.
Well,
And then, but as I said, one of the big things that's kind of hampered me recently is that quite literally just this thing that I was doing didn't turn out the way I was expecting it to.
yeah.
And so it's like I can still use it. It's still doing something that I want, but it's not as good as I was hoping.
Okay. Fair enough.
Which means that we're sort of slowing down, but we're also okay. Like, we're in a kind of weird spot where things are okay, but
Yeah.
we're gonna have to find a new solution to stuff. In other news, I actually have been in the Satisfactory since we finished, because I was looking at something and went, I should give this a try, which I did.
Yeah.
And let me just say, Kris has some fixing to do at the power station because he's done some stuff that has made some errors happen.
What stuff?
Yeah, it's not good over there, man.
Do we need more storage? What's going on?
You'll find out when we play next time, but basically, right now we have very little production of almost anything because there's a whole bunch of stuff that's just not running over there.
What the fuck?
Yeah, when you had everything hooked up and you went, okay, now I can start cutting these lines that are running.
Yeah.
You cut some that you probably shouldn't have cut, and now there's stuff that's not feeding at all. Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Oh, because there was one thing. Was there anything using coal over there?
Everything over there uses coal.
Oh no, I know what's happened there.
That's sort of the whole point.
So I know exactly what's happened there.
Right.
So what I was in the middle of doing, and you can probably see it at the end, where I was getting the next lot of coal coming through.
Yeah.
My idea was I'm bringing that coal over, but initially that coal's going directly to all of the steel manufacturing.
Right.
So that was my plan, is the ones that are nearby there are currently just being used just solely for the power, so it's not overdoing anything, or it's not trying to split it too much. And then the other two will come, I'll bring the other two over, and then what I'll end up doing is splitting that off, so some of that's going over to the power stations, and then the rest is going through there. So basically when I start up next time, the first thing I'll be doing is setting up the everything to get back to everything.
Right.
So it won't be long before that's back up.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
there's a short time.
It's just what he says. But yeah, so Satisfactory came out. We as always, we're kind of cruising along with that. That's not doing too bad. Like it could be better, could be worse, could be a lot of things. But at the moment, it's just kind of puttering along, doing its own thing. And yeah, we have our plans. I kind of am like, oh man, I've got to go and do a heap more exploring.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm also like, I also want to do this production stuff. It's just a crazy circular time at the moment.
Oh yeah, you sort of always at a point of like, I want to explore, but I need to do this.
Yeah.
But it's all over the place with that one.
Yeah. And we're kind of like at a standstill at the moment because we need to get our building up and running so that we can actually progress.
Yeah.
Because we're at a point where
we actually need to start building stuff to feed
into
the elevator.
I'm actually beyond where we are science-wise. Like, our science is far beyond where we actually are production-wise.
Yeah. No, that would make sense.
And so it's kind of like I'm needing things that we just aren't making.
Yes. But I think what we need to do first, though, is sort out the base. Get that sorted out so that it's easier to find things. And then we can just have an area where certain things are being fed into... well, we can make it in two different places. Some things in two different places if we need to for the time being. One, so it's going into storage so that we can use it as we need it, and then the next lot going into the actual elevator.
I don't know. Some of the stuff I think it'd just be easier to have a splitter on, especially if we can get it running at a good.
Well, we need better splitters,
probably,
because currently the splitters we've got they're not good. It slows down everything. That's why I don't like splitting often until we can get the smart splitters, which don't slow anything down.
Anyway, yeah. So we're puttering along there. That's good. We obviously have more work to do there. Obviously, more recording to do with everything. But that's where we are at the moment. Yeah, Satisfactory. It's it's a good game. It's nice and fun. I enjoyed my time there.
It is
except for the fact, I'm pretty sure in the episode that came out this week, I literally have a line where I'm talking about, you said something, and I said I can't do that because, basically it came down to me being like, don't distract me, Kris, and you're like, but what I'm doing is not distracting, and I'm just sort of like, no, you being around is distracting. Because I will. That's kind of like my whole thing in Satisfactory. I'm just kind of like, I can't remember exactly what it was.
If I'm not near you, it's fine, but the moment I'm near you, it's like, ooh, time to mess with you.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's like, like my whole thing is, we're talking about distractions, and I'm like, I am a distraction, or some shit like that. It was pretty much just like the moral of the story being,
you're easily distracted.
Literally, I will be in the middle of something and then just be like, hold on, wait a second, I can fuck with you. And then I'll just stop doing everything I'm doing to go fuck with you. And
which works out when we're working in two different areas all the time. The moment we've got to start working in the same area,
it gets messy.
Oh, it does.
But yeah, so that's that's Satisfactory. Basically, we have a bit to do in that game.
There's a lot. There is a lot left to do because we're still pretty early game.
Yeah.
We haven't gone up a tier.
No.
No, it's like the first couple of tiers, like, if you played the game before the game, sort of like, hey, do you want to just skip that? And we kind of did, because the starting stuff is very slow. Whereas if we skip to the couple of tiers, we could start making things a bit sooner. So we've actually sped up this process compared to last time we played this.
But yeah, like, there's basically just like we just need a lot of material, which means a lot of setup, and trying to find the best way to do that setup, I think, is where we're at the moment.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I think we've managed to set some things up that should make life a little bit easier about moving around and stuff. But there's a few things that I'm going to try and set up in the near future that'll just make everything better. Like just a few systems that'll be like, okay, with this you can do this and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But and once we can get the trains, that I think that'll really be the big thing, because then I can start just shipping stuff around all over the place.
Yeah, and I've kind of tried to stick to where you've built things with either keeping my belts up high enough so that you can still travel underneath it, or definitely when I'm running that coal over, I'm trying to keep that, and you would have seen it in the video, keep it in line with all your stuff so it's not in the way. So that should help out.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me is once we actually get the availability of the trains, that'll be a lot of my thinking, because last time I played with them, I had multiple trains running different tracks, but it was only one train per track, where ideally, if I could, I think I'd like to get multiple trains running one track to increase the drop-off rate.
The only thing we were running into, even with one, is we were running into stoppages. Because
that was on certain items. Basically...
But the problem is, once the trains pick up more and more of that certain item, it's a complete stop on everything. So we're going to try to figure that out.
Yeah, that itself isn't actually too hard. It's just monitoring what... The big issue was that we had something coming in that was incredibly fast.
I think it was the quartz. Quartz is one of them.
No, because I had them feeding into different trailers. So one would...
Yeah, but there was a storage area that kept clogging up because of it.
No, because they were coming out into different areas as well.
Yeah, fair enough.
The actual issue was that all of the other materials, when they were coming in, were actually full in, because we weren't using them fast enough.
Oh yeah, that's the biggest issue.
Which slowed down everything. But
so unfortunately, when you get later game, yes, stuff gets used, but unfortunately, it's slow production. Yeah.
But I think I can solve that issue, because I did actually end up solving the issue by like just having like mass storage and then just awesome things galore. But
oh yes.
I'm actually not too worried about that. The big thing is, though, that in the past, that train trip was quite short, whereas I'm thinking I might have to make it longer. That's why I'm like, I might want multiple trains running it.
Yeah. Oh, and it's another mode of transport for us as well, because we can jump on the trains. Mm-hmm. Either physically jump on them or get in.
Yeah. Okay. So that's satisfactory. Hopefully we will be in the train era soon.
Yes.
But yeah, I think where we are at the moment is like, for the first time in a long time, we don't have to worry about power.
Yes.
And
for a while, because I think we've got more power stations than we had last time. So we're in a decent place there.
Yeah. I don't really think there's much more to say about Satisfactory, so we'll move on.
Pretty much on top of that. So Wednesday, today, is Spyro came out. So it was the next installment.
Now let me tell you about that one.
I'm waiting.
Fucking hate Hunter.
I'm aware you hate Hunter. You haven't hidden that.
No. Quite literally, I finished the first world that I was doing in this one. And I've been doing like, I can mostly finish a world, mostly finish everything in about 2 episodes.
Hunter slows that down.
Yes. Because Hunter
especially
goes
when
and gets captured at a certain point in the game, and then all of the hunter missions can't be accessed until you progress past where he gets rescued.
Yeah.
And so, for the first time, I've had to leave worlds, not just finished because I haven't unlocked the character and I've got to come back. I just can't do the extra parts.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do the skating challenges. I can't do,
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm just so angry. And because I can't do the skating challenges, I can't get all the gems and all this kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
so he quite literally, okay, go watch the episode. You see how he gets captured. Infuriatingly stupid.
Yes.
And then,
It is.
and then because he's so stupid, I can't get all the gems from a level.
Yep.
What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Yeah, no, really aggravated by that.
I'm aware.
And then, yeah, I think to make matters worse, not only is Hunter stupid, I just had 3 levels I really fucking hate.
Oh, yeah.
And they were the only ones I had to do. Like, the last one I did, the Firework Factory, not a terrible level. Actually, really short, really sweet. Just full of ninjas. Okay.
Oh.
I don't like roof ninjas. They're not they're not my cup of tea.
Fair.
But also, there's a part in there where this dude's like, "Hey, watch out for the fire dragons." And then like you're looking, and there's these weird like kind of like half crystal like flying snake things that are made up of segments.
Yeah.
That are flying around, and I'm just like, I'm a dragon.
Yeah.
That breathes fire.
So technically, you're a fire dragon.
Like, so technically I'm a fire dragon, and they are not like me at all. So they're not fire dragons. I'm a fire dragon. Spyro, the fire dragon.
Yeah.
And those things are like
flying fire
fireworks.
serpents.
Well, not even fire serpents. They're like constructs that are like, they're kind of like...
Oh, so they're like a... I'm going to say creature made because there's no man-made stuff in that. Well, there is, but I haven't seen man yet.
But anyway.
Yes.
So, like, yeah, there's 2 weird snake dragon things that are made of crystal and probably paper mache. And I'm just like, they're not fire dragons, mate. I'm a fire dragon. Dragon, you know, you've seen me. It's not like we're in a different thing where it's like, oh, look out for the fire dragon. You're literally talking to a dragon, mate. You're talking to a dragon.
And it's not hard to know that you're talking to a dragon.
You're talking to a dragon, and the dragon's like, mate. And then you give me a dragon egg, and out of it comes another dragon, and you're like, man, those dragons. And I was like, mate.
So many problems.
You literally just seen 2 dragons. Do they look anything like us? No. I breathe fire. That makes me a fire dragon.
It's true.
Do they look like me? No. No. They're just weird.
Yeah, they are. They are indeed weird.
And then to top it off, Sparks made me jump into a pit of lava. Because it was like, go that way. And I was like, okay. And I jumped and burnt my butt. And I was like, Sparks, man, what are you doing?
You might have been gold when you told me to do this, but fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It's
But yeah, no,
how he does.
Just 3 levels I really dislike. And so
Yeah,
it
fair.
wasn't a very fun episode for me. And the fact that I have to go back to 2 of them,
Yeah.
even worse.
That was
Because
fair.
when I go into the next world, I do all the stuff. Then I have to go back to 2 of these ones I really hate. And one of them is to do a skate park, which I absolutely detest. And I'm just like,
Oh, yeah, no, I see that.
Yeah.
I see how that's going to annoy you,
yeah.
but not.
Also, so like, because another one was the haunted shipwrecks,
Oh, yeah.
where there is no water, it's just acid.
Yep.
And I was like, all throughout the Spyro games, they've been like, no, just go underwater. There's no issue. We're not gonna be one of these games where it's like, oh, you got a limited time underwater. Until this one level where they're like, ha ha ha, you got to use the invincibility to go underwater. We're not giving you a breath meter because we're kind. We're just giving you an invulnerability meter, and if you turn uninvulnerable under the water, you insta die. And I'm like, we were fine without insta dying underwater in Spyro for the entirety of it.
Yes.
Why all of a sudden? Now, okay, yeah, Spyro 1 didn't have swimming. I don't care about that. No games when Spyro 1 came out had swimming.
That's true, yeah.
Water was just a big blue pit of lava.
Pretty
But
much.
why the fuck all of a sudden where they like, "Ooh, yeah, now we're gonna have you have a time limit underwater." I don't want a time limit underwater. It's not a swimming game. It doesn't have great underwater controls. Just let me take my time. Let me take my time, make sure I don't miss anything. Fucking putting a timer on it. God, what kind of dicks? And then the next one, the other mission I had to do, had a fuck ton of ice in it, and I fucking hate ice.
Just keep sliding everywhere.
Exactly, and it's like, you can't jump. It's like, hey, bitch, I have wings. I could just flap them and take off.
No, you 100% can. And it is shown that he can fly.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like,
when he goes between places.
I'm fucking skidding along, and I had to fucking do this mission, which I just fucking hated.
Yeah.
It took me like 3 attempts. I cut the 3 attempts out because they weren't funny 3 attempts. It was just literally like shitty, poor fucking controls. And it was like, so I couldn't beat the computer that was just like, I'm going to do this, and it would do that, and then I would do it, and it would be like, ha ha ha, no.
Yeah.
And so I was just angry. Oh, and also, the ice mission is the one where you have the ice breath. And the only point in the entire game that I can remember where you get punished for killing all the enemies. Like, you're supposed to kill all the enemies. That's how you get all the gems. But if you kill all the enemies, then you can't use one as a step to get up to a place you need to get up to.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Not only is it the only time you use this mechanic, you literally reward me for killing all the enemies. I have to do it to get 100%. And if I kill this one enemy, I have to leave and come back because he is a step. You know? I'm just like...
I know that one.
These 3 missions are just the worst. And I had all 3 of them. Oh, man. And so it was just a bad day for me because I'm like, okay, well, it's these 3. And I was just like... Yeah. But...
Can you do any of the other Spyro games? Are you going to do any of the other Spyro games?
I don't have any of the others.
No, well, fair enough then.
Like, and they're practically impossible to get. If you want to play Spyro now, the only thing you can do is really play the Reignited trilogy.
Yeah.
Which is fine. They're probably the best 3 games.
Well, yes, yeah.
But, yeah. That's why we want a Spyro 4, and we just want a good Spyro 4.
Yes, please.
We want platforming, we want firing, we want flying, charging.
Yeah.
I want him to be a little bit bigger so he can take on bigger enemies, because I'm fucking sick and tired of all the older dragons being like, hey, wait till you're big like me to hit before you can take on these big guys.
Make him an adult.
Well, I want to be a big Spyro so I can take on these big guys.
I want to be the adult Spyro. I'm pretty sure someone did like fan art of that a while back, and it's like, that looked real good.
Looked at it. But like, I would love that, and it's like, so he instead of a charge move, he just like fucking punches shit. Just like, boom, bitch, boom, boom, boom.
He's like, I remember you.
Grabs him, kicks it. Yeah, exactly.
Why was I charging these?
Yeah, and a stronger flame breath, that would be awesome. But, you know, like, it'd just be cool. And because it would be like a modern game and not an old school game, we could have so much extra kind of stuff in it. We could actually have proper flying levels and not just the...
Well, you're actually using your wings to fly. You know those things that are attached to his back that he only uses when going through a fucking portal? Or gliding?
Or in a cutscene. Because he can fly perfectly well in cutscenes.
Yes.
And it was the biggest fuck you that they ever did, because at the end of Spyro 1, there is a whole level where you can fly.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, Spyro finally got to fly, and then the next game, they're like, no, you forgot.
Nope, not happening. Nope.
Anyway. But yeah, so that was a fun one for me to film.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious for me.
And then, of course, on Saturday, there will be the Minecraft, which is not edited yet. It's in the processes of being edited, so that'll be a fun day tomorrow for me. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, so basically, I've started the Easter stuff. So I jump into creative, and I go on a little bit of an explore to try and find a place to start. And then I do start building. Like, don't get me wrong, this is going to take me a while. I think in this first episode, I don't know how long it'll be, probably like around the 45-minute mark, hopefully. But it's literally me just getting everything kind of ready to start building and planning out what's going to actually happen.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this won't take me too long, but it might also take me too long. You know,
Yeah.
it's possible, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I know what I'm going into with this one, hence why I'm giving myself so much time.
True.
But it's just I've got to figure stuff out. I've got to mess around with some things. And then once all that's done, it'll be really, really simple to implement the actual Easter egg hunt part. The plan mainly is build everything and then put in the Easter egg hunting parts afterwards, like once everything's built, because then it'll just be like, I'll put an egg piece here or whatever. It'll be like filling in a puzzle as opposed to trying to build around it. I have changed my mind a bit on how it will be, but the other side of that is I also have to finish it far enough out of Easter that I can
Forget things.
Because the way I think I'm going to have it work is, I think we're going to both be active at the same time. And I think that'd be fun and cool, but yeah, there's some things I got to figure out.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's all fine. The other big thing though that I finished recording for the day, you know, I often do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, time to head back to the houses. Head back to the house.
Yeah.
And I'm about to turn off creative mode, and you know, I've emptied my inventory of everything that I had so that I don't come back with any advantage.
Yeah.
And then I go, because when I'm flying around, I'm like, I should get a map to where this farm is.
Yes.
I didn't get a map. So I went, I knew where it was. It's near something I've been at before, and I'm like, I just need to find this landmark, and I can find it.
This is the whole fucking mansion that I burned down thing again. No, it's this way. I know it. So we're just gonna find this one thing. Is that it? Oh yeah, no, that looks
okay.
No, it's not that.
You say that. You say that, but that I was right that time. I was right. And I was right this time. But the way I ended up finding it was pulling out my compass and going in the opposite direction of home.
Which is every direction.
Yeah, but it's the specific opposite direction. So basically, I pulled out my compass and I'm like, it should be in. I'm like, this way. And then if I keep home, because I knew where this landmark was, right? That's the big thing. But it did take me about half an hour to find it again.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Flying around with the biggest bubble I could make, and I'm just like, oh god damn it, because I was like,
Okay.
I was sitting there at the start and I went, I need a map so I can get back to this place.
Obviously.
I'm like, but fortunately it's near something I already know what it is.
Yes.
I'm like, I already know where that is, and you know, part of me building this thing, I'm actually going to build a way to travel there. I want to build a railway.
No.
That way you just jump on the railway and go. We don't have to walk.
So it's like, don't worry. Got a landmark to look for. Let's go.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because don't get me wrong, I explored in a lot of different directions before I settled on the place that I settled on.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, fuck. Because I got back to the house, so I'm like, cool. I'm like, shit. Because obviously there's going to be episodes between me finishing that place and, like, obviously I'm not going to do all of the building there right now. This weekend, me and Kris will probably film the next 2 Minecrafts or whatever.
Yeah.
Or we'll film a bunch of Minecrafts that will come out eventually.
Yeah.
The Easter one will come out in Easter, so whatever we have will be built around doing that.
Yeah.
You know, that's the goal. That's the plan. That's whatever. So, but I will be filming with Kris whilst I'm working on this as well. And so I have to go home and turn off creative and do all that so that I'm at the place where I've got to be to start.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just totally forgot that I need a way back there until I got back, and I was like, I need a map. I need a map to that place because otherwise I'm going to have to spend like 20 minutes at the start of every day
We're trying to find the fucking place.
trying to get back there.
Damn it.
Yeah, so I spent a long time, and I finally got there and built. I built 2 maps. And there we go. I have 2 maps.
So if I lose one,
Yes, pretty much.
the other one's also in my inventory.
Hopefully. But the big thing is, as I said, the way I found it was I knew where the landmark was, or I knew what the landmark I was looking for was. I knew that wasn't too far from our house.
Okay.
I mean, this isn't too far from our house, so I'll go like 500-600 blocks in every direction, and if I don't see this landmark, I'm heading in the wrong direction.
Fuck, okay.
But again, I digress. I made a mistake. I literally left the place and like didn't think about it until I got back. That I was like, actually, I need to be able to find my way home.
Yeah. I just need to be able to do that in the first place.
So I always take a compass. That way I know wherever I'm coming from is in the exact opposite direction of home. And then I can always find my way back there.
Every direction we head in is the exact opposite direction of home.
Always find my way back there.
Fucking Christ.
It's wonderful.
I suppose it helps that where we built was pretty much at 0.
Oh, it does.
That's
But,
the only
like,
thing that helps.
the thing is, like, you say, like, oh, but everything's in the exact opposite direction of home. It is, but that's where bearings comes into play, Chris.
Oh, yeah, I'm aware.
And being like,
Yeah.
well, if I leave home in this direction, then the thing I'm looking for is in the opposite direction of home. So I better just keep going straight here.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not going to walk out the back of your place and be like, okay, in the exact opposite direction of home. So if I leave this place and go the other way, although I'm not really sure how Minecraft works.
No, it's more the situation of like, how do I get home? It's just go in the opposite direction of the place you're in because it's at the opposite direction of home. It's like,
That's not true.
fucking...
That's not true. That's not true
You're
at
saying
all.
you've never said that?
No, I've always used the opposite direction of home. I've never
Yeah.
said how do we get home? Head in the opposite direction of here, because that's not gonna work. You've got to head towards home. That's the only way to get home. But if you want to get to places, you head in the opposite direction of home.
Well, yes. But your answer to, oh, how do we get back? Well, it's in the opposite direction of home. So it fucking doesn't help. This has still got another 360 degrees.
Just saying. I'm just saying.
What?
I've never said that. I've always said the place we're going is in the exact opposite direction of home.
You have kind of used it in reverse, but you've still said the words, it's in the exact opposite direction of the home.
Never said that. I've never described. I've always described places in the exact opposite direction of home.
Yes.
But I've never said that home is in the exact opposite direction of this place.
Oh, yeah,
Because
okay,
it's
yeah,
not.
fair enough.
No, that's a lie.
I will admit I said that wrong, but it was the thing of, when I've been out, it's like, how do I get home? It's like, well, it's in the exact opposite direction of home, so just go in the opposite direction again. That has been how you've said it at least once. I'm like, you motherfucker.
I've never told you to go in the opposite direction again. I have told you that you have moved in the exact opposite direction of home, so if you go backwards, you should be fine.
Yeah,
That sounds like something I would have said.
hey, fine.
But
Yeah.
whenever I've mentioned the exact opposite direction of home, that has been when you've said, where is this place? And I always say, it's in the exact opposite direction of home, because that's all my compass tells me.
I know that. I'm aware of that.
My compass tells me where home is, and so I head in the opposite direction and I end up places. And then when you say, where is that place? It's the exact opposite direction of home.
It just all depends on which direction you were facing to start with.
Yeah, it depends on which way I leave home, but that's irrelevant.
Well, it's quite relevant when you're telling me we've got to go to a
Irrelevant.
place.
Irrelevant. It is purely my directionals.
Yes, I know, but when I'm standing there and you're already gone, it's like, and you give me that information, I'm like, but which fucking way is that?
The exact opposite direction.
Is it right? Is it left?
No, obviously not. It's
Is it right slightly to the left?
no. You just leave home, and you go in a straight line.
What the fuck?
And you know what? That is how you end up places. Because if you just walk out the front door and just keep going in a straight line, you'll
Well,
end up
yes,
somewhere.
you will end up somewhere. That is, God fucking damn it.
That's why my directions are never wrong. Never wrong.
They're just not descriptive.
Yeah, but like, what is descriptive in Minecraft? Yeah, you go past a bunch of trees.
Yeah, well, I know that.
Exactly. My directions are clear, concise, easy to follow.
But you know what else helps? I think it's F4. And bringing up the actual fucking coordinates. God damn it.
Technically, that's cheating. You can't do that in real life. You can't just bring up the coordinates of where you are.
If I have a phone, I can.
No, you can't. Only if you got service on your phone can you ever do that.
Okay.
We live in a country where there's a lot of places.
What if I've got a
you've got
GPS in mine, an actual GPS?
service. Okay.
And before you ask, yes, I do own one.
Cares about that.
But either way, if that's in my fucking hand, I can get the exact coordinates as well.
Only if
Well,
America's,
within like a 10-meter range.
only if America's not mad at you.
Well, yes, but what am I going to do to America to have them mad at me?
No, I think there's a million reasons they could be mad.
Oh, I'm aware.
And all of them
I'm
are
aware.
perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, 100% what I was saying yesterday to Leanne is probably one of the reasons, but I'm not going to say that
Anyway.
now.
The point is that Minecraft.
Yes.
Yeah, other than that, guys, the shorts are continuing to come out.
Indeed, they are.
They're just coming out. There's a lot of them.
Once again, as we stated before, he's doing it at the correct time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Backlog, man. Backlog.
Yeah.
Like I think we're almost at the end of the videos we did for Halloween, or some of them at least.
Yeah.
So that's only like 5 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Other than that, guys, I think we are now up to 242 subscribers. Palindromic again.
What was
That's
the
always
last time
nice.
I checked?
Yes, I
Yep.
checked just before.
And I checked before I got here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's doing well.
yeah, man. We'll keep puttering along.
Yep.
Gonna hit 250 soon.
Yeah, that'll be good.
That's it. It's just,
Quarter away there.
it's an insane thing sometimes. You know, sometimes you feel like you're making no progress, and then other times it's just like boom, 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 boom. You're just like, wow, this is just piling up.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That forward momentum.
It's what we need.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But guys, I think that just about wraps up channel news.
I think so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we move on, and I'm going to start us off today because something funny happened today when I was just I was cruising Tinder as you do.
Yeah, well, I don't, but
One of the best phone games you can ever play, mate.
well, fair.
But Tinder has categories, you know,
Yeah.
and every now and then it adds new categories that pop up, and you're like,
Okay.
interesting. So like some of the ones that have popped up recently are things like upside down pineapple, which I can't remember what that means, but it's an upside down pineapple.
Yeah.
But the ones that popped up today, and the reason that I'm even talking about this is that they popped up and I just had a chuckle at them because it was like similar interests, and they're like, hey, look, if you click on these ones, you'll have people who have similar interests.
Yeah.
But the similar interests were wants kids and child-free lifestyle. I was like, Tinder, I don't think you have a clue what my interest is there, because you're like, hey, do you want kids or are you all about that child-free lifestyle? But this is you, and you want people who are like you, so both of them. And I'm like, oh, Tinder,
God.
can't have it both ways, guys.
No, you fucking don't.
I'm gonna live that child-free lifestyle. Actually, well, you probably could have it both ways, but that would be a bit of a dick move.
A bit.
You know, we do live in Rockhampton. It's pretty standard here.
Okay, fair point. Fair
Yeah,
point.
that's a bit sad.
It really is.
But yeah, no, I just found it funny because I was just like, Tinder, these things are not compatible.
No, they're not.
These two don't go together. And it was just like, no, trust me, bro. And I was like, I don't think I will.
No.
No, sir. No. There will be no trust in you today.
You shut your fucking mouth.
Exactly. Weird upside down pineapple.
Is that like swingers or something like that?
It could be like
I think
monogamy or something like that. I don't know.
I think it was some like. No.
Open to it's just a weird kind of. It's just a weird one, you know.
Yeah, it really is.
But yeah, I just found that hilariously funny because I was just like, Tinder, what the fuck, man? You can't put these two next to each other and be like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I was right. Swingers.
There you go.
Yeah.
yeah, there you go, ha ha ha, bang bang bang, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, what the fuck, man?
God damn.
But yeah, no, I found that very funny.
Oh, yes.
Chris,
Yes.
I've been playing Jedi Survivor, right?
Oh, yes, you mentioned that.
Yeah, I've been
last
playing
week.
that. And look, I've been playing it.
Yeah, yeah.
It has the problems that every Star Wars game I think I've ever played has.
Okay, yes, yeah.
Except maybe Battlefront 2.
Okay.
Original
Oh, okay,
Battlefront
yeah.
2.
Fair enough.
And that is that in the game, the lightsaber is treated like a baseball bat.
Yes.
And it annoys the shit out of me. Because there are some enemies
Yes.
which you just, like, if you get in a certain way, it's an insta-kill, right? Like, you can pick up a stormtrooper, or you can sneak up on a stormtrooper and just stab them and they're dead.
Well, yeah.
Or if they're just, like, a low-level stormtrooper, which, you know, we'll talk about that in a second, but if they're a low-level stormtrooper, you get a good hit on them, they die.
Yeah.
If they put a little bit of orange on their shoulder pads, apparently they take more hits to kill.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Which, you know, makes perfect logical sense. You're wearing exactly the same armor, but, you know, orange shoulder pad.
No, it's easy. You're hitting that. You've got to hit that once
Yeah.
for it to become a normal armor set. Then you, like, break through it all.
But, okay, so the thing that annoys me is, like, I was fighting a Rancor, right? As you do.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, we've all seen Luke do it, so now we've got to have it in a big Star Wars set piece.
Of course, yes.
And I'm fighting this Rancor, and it has insta-kill moves. Like, it can just stomp on you and you die, and you're like, okay, well, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, no, 100% does.
It's a big fatty. You get stomped on by a big fatty, you're going to die.
Yes.
It can pick you up and just put you in its mouth and just... And you're like, that also makes sense. Insta-kill move.
Yeah.
But, and I understand from a gameplay sense, you don't want a weapon that just kills everything instantly.
Well, yeah.
But when you're sitting there like just like smacking something in the stomach 20 times with a lightsaber and you're watching the little orange line glow
Or the face.
or the face,
Yeah, both work.
you know, like, you know, I know from the Star Wars movies that, you know, if you cut off a limb, you can survive without a limb.
Well,
And
yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. It really does. Especially
what-
since it cauterizes the wound at the same time.
Yeah, that's a whole issue.
Yeah.
But basically, I'm sitting there being like, you know, it's just, I really dislike when lightsabers feel like bats.
Oh, yeah. No,
And like,
it
I
does.
remember back in like the Jedi Academy days when you could put on the super lightsaber cheat, but
Yeah.
it made every lightsaber super. So it's
Yeah.
like you were one-hitting enemies, but if an enemy had a lightsaber, they could also one-hit you.
So you had to
And I'm
fucking
like,
move.
You know what though? That was brilliant because
Yeah.
the lightsabers actually felt powerful. Whereas now it's like, you know, all of these things have insta-kill moves, and you're just sitting there like wailing on them with a lightsaber. Or, and it probably pisses me off with like stormtroopers and the security droids even more. But it's like
Yeah.
you sit there wailing on them for a bit, and then you go like, it like pops up and you do like the finishing animation where your lightsaber then can then magically cut through them, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, hang
You've
on,
been
like,
doing this the entire fucking
exactly,
time.
and it's just like, I get it. It's a gameplay thing
Yeah.
because we don't really do, and but at the same time, it's like
So no one is
it's
wearing.
lights.
No one is wearing anything that's actually lightsaber resistant. So it doesn't make sense.
But you know, and that's the thing. It's like it's a lightsaber, and it's like, ugh. And it's just the most annoying thing to me because, like, you know how I always talk about things. It's like if you're going to have something powerful, you can't be like it's only powerful sometimes. No, this is exactly what they do with the lightsaber. It's like, hey,
Oh, yeah.
if you get this happening, it's an insta kill, or if you do this, it's an insta kill, or you know, if you get them down to a certain amount of health, it'll actually cut them to pieces, and you can stab them and do all that. And it's like, but until that point, you're sitting there, and it's like it's just a baseball bat.
Yeah. Well, but then you got to look at the reverse thing as well. The same sort of issue happens with the blasters. That fucking thing hits you in the head, you're dead regardless.
True.
So when you watch in game, one hit you directly in the face, and it's like, oh yeah, your health bar went down. It's like, no, I'm dead.
I've never actually seen that happen.
Well, yeah, it's
I
true.
just deflect them.
Oh, yeah, I know that. But I'm saying for the people, because I do the same thing. Well, I haven't played Survivor. I started playing the first one on Grandmaster difficulty, and I'm like, I'm still reflecting these easy. Either way, but when that does happen, it's like your health bar only drops a little bit. It's like, cool, no, should be dead. I agree that the lightsabers should be, nope, they're dead, and I'm dead if I get hit in the right place.
But like the other thing is like, and as I said, I do get it. It's a gameplay thing, but like at the same time, it's like I have a fucking lightsaber. These are stormtroopers. Like I don't want to come up against a purge trooper and be like, ha ha ha, yeah, you've broken his guard and you've hit him, and oh no, he's got his guard back. It's like, because he's a purge trooper. I want to be like, if I get that guy with my lightsaber and
He's
like
dead.
make good contact, I want him. I want limb chopping action. I want decapitation.
And there are games that have that feature in there, so it's not that difficult to do.
It has this game. You like this game. If when you kill a stormtrooper, like their limbs come off.
Oh yeah.
But it's like my biggest issue is just and there's wampers in this one, but not wampers because they're not in the snow. But they're wampers.
Okay, fair.
And they will grab you and pick you up, and you can cut off their arm.
That's pretty cool.
And they can do it with both arms, so you can cut off both their arms and then just be running around them. There's also
I do like that. That's pretty
the
cool.
droids. You know the droids from the Mandalorian where Luke shows up, the ones that kind of look like big stormtrooper dudes.
Yeah.
They're in it as well. And if you do more damage to them, their arms come off.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of come at you with their feet. And you're just like, haha, you have no arms.
Suck it.
But like the thing is, like with the more difficult enemies, right? I don't mind them being able to block with like electro stars and stuff, but I feel like if I get a hit on them with with my lightsaber, it should just be it should be monstrous.
Yeah, so if you manage to get behind them and cut them across the back, it's like that's not good for them.
And and I think that they should really just remove all of the like scout troopers.
Yeah.
Just have like normal stormtroopers and have them be literally cannon fodder, because that's what they would be to a Jedi.
Oh, they are 100%. You just need masses, so it's harder for them to deflect every bolt that's sent your way, and just slows you down because there's so many of them.
Yeah, but you know what else I was actually a little bit disappointed in? Obviously being a giant Star Wars nerd like I am, I actually know a lot of the lore, and it's like stormtroopers are not the Imperial military. They're not the dudes they send to keep the peace and stuff. They're the elite soldiers.
Yeah.
So I would have actually liked to see like some of the actual Imperial soldiers on places.
Yeah.
Especially now, like the whole point of this story is like, oh well, the Empire's pretty much settling in. Like in the first one, the Empire was still having a lot of issues with the whole end of the Clone Wars not being that long ago.
Yeah, still on the hunt for
still hunting
survivors.
Down remaining Jedi, still doing all that kind of stuff. But in this one, it's like the Empire's settled in, they're winning. So like, it shouldn't be the stormtroopers everywhere. You should see like the Imperial military and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But again, just
because everybody
I
knows
would like
the
to see
stormtrooper, they're not going.
I would like to see less scout troopers, because in reality, it's Star Wars. They're not going to melee you. I know that in Souls-like games, like it is, you need a lot of melee stuff, but it's like, no, they would just like throw heaps and heaps of stormtroopers. Scout troopers are scouts by their nature.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that you're coming up against them and then say, "Oh, I'm going to fight you." It's like, no.
Well,
not what they're there for.
It doesn't even make sense like that. But it's also like you come across a horde of like stormtroopers, and it's like 2 guys with blasters, and the rest are all scout troopers carrying stun batons, and you're like, who the fuck planned these guys out?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you're going to a hostile planet. We have blasters, but we're actually going to give you guys stun batons. And it's like, no, I will take the blaster, please.
No, please.
Also, we're going to have we're going to have a squad. It's going to have 2 stormtroopers and 5 scouts in it. Why?
That's a dumb thing.
The other way around would make more sense.
It would indeed make more sense.
Yeah, so, like,
but it's also a thing if they're in a well-established era and they're just walking around, it's like, why the fuck are the scout troopers here?
Yeah, exactly. So
they're not doing their fucking job.
There's a few issues that I have there, and it's like, you know, as I said, stormtroopers should be canon. Like, stormtroopers, a lot of the animals, like, they should just be canon fodder, really. And it's like, I get it. It's supposed to be a challenging game. It's supposed to have the whole Souls type.
Well, because if they were doing the whole cannon fodder type thing, it would just become more of like, I don't know, like a dynasty. Yeah, that's what I was going for.
But the thing is, you don't have to have, like, I probably would need better fighting controls.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I want the lightsaber to feel like a lightsaber. If I fucking hit someone with it, I don't want them to be like, oh, you hit me with that. And then, like, 10 seconds later for me to be like, oh, I can now activate the kill animation. And it's like, I just cut you in half. And it's like, oh, why didn't I do it when I fucking full on smacked you with it earlier?
Smacked you in the back of the head. Why is your head completely intact? That doesn't make sense.
But again, as I said, maybe it's just... Because I do like the Survivor and... Lost Order games. Lost Order? Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Fallen Order games. It's just that I don't think Souls type games work with Star Wars.
No.
And the reason is this. Right?
As we just stated, the Dynasty Warrior games would make more sense.
It's not even that. It's, you know how Souls games have the whole thing where it's like, I've got to come back with a certain power to unlock this shortcut.
Yeah.
Type thing. Well, in Jedi Fallen Order, some of the shortcuts are metal doors. And it's like, I've got to come back and unlock that. It's like, I have a lightsaber in my hand. I have a lightsaber in my hand. I do not have to come back with a power to unlock this. I could just, whoosh, you know?
Yeah.
I have the best weapon ever in my hands. And I'm sitting there being like, this door's locked. I'm like, no door should be locked.
Wasn't it at the very, very beginning of episode 2? They were cutting through a fucking door, showing exactly what it was. Episode 1.
Episode 1, and it's a blast door, so it's not even just a normal door. It's a big door.
It's a big door, so they got to cut slow. But the people on the other side would be like, oh no.
Exactly.
They're getting more terrified as they cut further into that door.
So I'm just like, and it's like, oh, can't open this door. It's locked, and I'm just like. So, you know, it's just like, it's it just has some issues that it's just like, this shouldn't be a problem to someone with a lightsaber.
No.
And like, the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, this type of game would make more sense as a scoundrel or a rogue. Someone who has a blaster.
Yes.
Because, you know, we know that blasters can be lethal, but, you know, you can also survive a couple shots from them.
Oh, yeah.
We know
that also depends on where you get hit.
So it's like, it's not like a lightsaber where, you know, a hit to the stomach is going to kill you. Although, you know, Disney lightsabers, who knows anymore. But,
oh, maybe that's what they're using.
But again, like, you know, sitting there looking at a metal door and being like, it's locked, BD, we're going to come back later. I'm just like...
We're going to come back later. It's like,
Cal.
There's 2 things here.
Cal, you have 2 lightsabers on your waist.
You have 2 lightsabers on your waist. And a droid that could probably open it as well.
Yeah,
it's legitimately, you've got 2 things right there.
As I said,
it makes sense, but no.
It's just the worst. It's just the worst thing that I could possibly think of. Because I'm just like,
yeah.
Why? And the answer is because it's like the other games. It's like, yes, but when you're running around in Dark Souls or Elden Ring or whatever, and it's like, oh, you got to come the other way to unlock this because it's barred. It's like, cool, you have a sword. Yeah, a giant castle door isn't going to open to a sword.
No.
But like, in this, it's like, oh, I've got to come back later. It's like, I literally have a weapon that is known to cut through pretty much anything.
Effectively, yes. But like 99.8% of things are getting cut through. It's not fucking difficult.
Sort of the whole deal about this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know you guys who made Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, but have you ever seen like episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, episode 5, episode 6? Because shit's being cut all the time by lightsabers in that.
All the time.
And like, yeah, they're just kind of like, oh, I see you have a walkway there. No, you don't. Oh, I see you have an arm there. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Oh, I see you have a big door here. No, you don't. You know?
Well, that's it. It's like, you see a whole heap of troopers running across the bridge, and it's like, oh, bridge is gone.
I see you have one of those giant spider guys with the spiky arms. No, you don't.
it's
Like, quite literally,
Yeah.
Obi-Wan is just like, oh my god, that's a giant monster creature, and it's like, I'm gonna stab you, and it stabs, and he just goes, boom, and it's
Also-
like, I'm missing an arm, and then it goes to the other one, boom, I'm missing 2 arms.
how the fuck are you blocking things in that game against any creature, and then just like being like, huh, why didn't you take damage?
Exactly.
You just hit a lightsaber.
It's like, ha,
Fuck it.
it swings a claw at you, and you're like, yeah, and you're like, hang on, wait, that doesn't make sense, because again, a lightsaber is not a sword,
No.
but they've based it on sword games, and it's just like,
Yeah.
guys, it's like the whole
Yeah.
point of the lightsaber is that the lightsaber is not like a normal sword.
Yes.
It's far more dangerous. But you've just treated it like, and as I said,
Oh,
like, it's fun, you can ignore it, but there's just points where you just go, why is this even an issue? I have a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Or, you freaking fight something that kills you with an insta-kill move, and you just go, oh, I see you get an insta-kill move, but my lightsaber to your eyeball did nothing to you.
you can still see out of it.
You can still see it. You
It's
still
still-
have a
It
face.
still exists.
But,
So you know that all those orange lines that just healed all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Mm.
As I said, it's like there's some things that are kind of cool, like some of the things when you kill them like actually look like they've got lightsaber damage to them.
Yeah.
But like there's just some things where you're just like, come on.
Yeah. It's like, look, I would accept more if you came across a Mandalorian. I know we're like wearing full Beskar, just the slash at them didn't fully, like, it penetrated through, but not to the extent where I'm like, ooh, I'm on death's door now.
Yes, but again,
It's like, I can
you know,
understand that,
in Disney's Star Wars, Beskar is actually lightsaber proof.
and it's not.
No, it's not. It never was. As I said, everyone who's ever said that, I'm like, go look at the Mandalorian Wars. Okay, man, go read some history of Star Wars.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, yeah, it's like it's resistant. So with enough, and because the lightsaber is just a heat weapon.
Yeah.
So if you can melt Beskar, you can, which you have to be able to do. A
Yeah.
lightsaber can get through it.
Especially when like in the Mandalorian, when they were actually melting it and making it, it's like, it doesn't look like they were doing it at that high a temperature. So
Yeah.
it's definitely
Yeah.
like, you would expect that something that's going to be lightsaber resistant would have like a special way to be produced, not just in a basic forge.
No.
But,
No, they're gonna say it's like a magic forge. It's magic Mandalorian forge. They got magic Mandalorian forge powers. Anyway,
Yeah.
the point is that the problem with lightsabers are a problem.
Yeah.
Because they're incredibly powerful, and that is why in the past lightsabers weren't handed out willy-nilly.
yeah.
If you wanted to make a Star Wars game, it was like, do you really need lightsabers in it?
Yeah.
If you wanted to make a Star Wars TV show, it was like, do you really need lightsabers in it? Like, I think Rogue One's a brilliant example.
Yeah.
Rogue One has one lightsaber scene in the whole thing.
Yeah.
And when you see that lightsaber scene, you go, oh, lightsabers are scary, yo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the rest of the time, people just run around with guns, being like, boop, 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 boop. But yeah, anyway, as I said, man, lightsabers, man. Lightsabers.
Yeah.
They're just a problem. And they're a problem. They are a problem.
They're fantastic, but they're
They cause
they're a
issues.
problem for modern games.
They're a problem for a lot of things, like as storytelling, Star Wars.
Yeah. Which is even why
You put a lightsaber in everything, and you end up doing what we've seen in what was the one? Ahsoka.
Yeah.
What's
Which I haven't actually
there was
watched.
another one where people were using lightsabers. Wasn't the Acolyte? Might have been the Acolyte.
Could have been.
There may be a piece in the Acolyte. Definitely Ahsoka. Definitely Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Where people are being stabbed by lightsabers.
Yeah.
Which we've seen is lethal.
Yes.
And they're just like, no, I'm better now. I'm better
No.
now. And it's like, why? Because Disney wants the lightsabers, but it doesn't want them to be too lethal. And it's like, that's the whole point of them.
That's why Qui-Gon died.
Yes.
Instead of being where they were, which was a very civilized
Oh.
sort of place and wouldn't have been that far from, or that hard to get him to a hospital.
Might have been a bit hard to get into hospital. They were in the center of the planet, or near the center of the planet.
Oh, I suppose, yeah.
But the point is, they were on Naboo during the time of the Republic, and they were goddamn Jedi.
Yes.
You know, they're a pretty big deal. Whereas, okay, let's see. One of them is Sabine on okay, it's a New Republic planet, but it's like pretty recently after the Empire's been toppled.
Yeah.
So things aren't really, as good as they were in the time of the Republic in terms of, care and stuff. And then the other one is quite literally in the time of the Empire, she's just been stabbed by Darth Vader.
Yes.
And so she ain't getting any help because no one is really willing to be like, yo, the Empire just tried to kill you, we're going to help you. They're like, no.
We're gonna stay away from you because we don't want them coming after us.
So like this whole thing of like medical attention, it's like, no.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It's just like we were shown how dangerous lightsabers were, and like quite literally, yes, that's how Qui-Gon died. That's also how like a bunch of other Jedi die. It's how a bunch of people die.
Yes.
Just get like, and it's like, okay, yes, there is the whole Maul thing.
Yeah.
Which is stupid. Okay, let's just put it out there. The Maul surviving being bisected was stupid.
Yeah.
But, they really wanted that character back because he was cool. I get it. He was cool.
He was indeed.
But again, the issue is that we saw something. We saw how dangerous these things were. And then all of a sudden it was just like, nah, we want the lightsabers, but we don't want them to be that lethal because we want to be able to have some risk by stabbing our characters. And it's like, I think the Acolyte did do it right, though. Like, one of the few things that the Acolyte actually did well was the fact that when someone gets stabbed with a lightsaber, they then die.
It makes sense.
And I was like, cool. We've remembered that these things literally burn holes in people.
Yes.
And fun fact about being a living thing, having a giant hole burned in you isn't great.
No, it's not. But yeah, no, it's one of those fucking stupid things. It's like why in the campaign we're running, it's not like, for tabletop stuff. You can't just get a lightsaber. It's not just, hey, here's a lightsaber. And it's like, no, you've actually got to...
Well, that's got more to do with the time frame in which it's set in.
Well, yeah.
But,
But there's still a lot of stuff. It's like, even when they add the lightsabers in, it's not simple.
Yeah, but they're very convoluted lightsabers in that game.
Oh, they are.
But yeah, the point is purely that lightsabers are scary, yo.
Oh, yes.
And they should be scary. Like one of the big things is like that's why they were the Jedi weapon. It's not because like other people couldn't get them. Like Jedi were killable, yo. It was like the fact that like if you weren't a Jedi, wielding them was incredibly dangerous. And like again, just to like say how sweet Boba Tea was, motherfucker trained himself to use a lightsaber.
Oh yeah.
Without killing himself, which is pretty impressive because it's a giant heaty cut through everything blade that you then start spinning around your body.
Yeah, it's quite easy to accidentally. Oh fuck! Oh shit!
Anyway, Kris.
Yeah.
Moving right along.
Indeed, yes.
You sent me a video yesterday.
I did.
About a spider.
I did.
Yeah. So I did some research on that spider because I actually wanted to know if it was real.
Yeah.
And technically it is,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Fair enough.
So it is called the Newcastle funnel web spider.
Yeah, I figured it wasn't what they were saying.
Colloquially known as the Newcastle big boy. Now,
Yeah.
that may sound like a prostitute who works on the Newcastle docks,
It does.
male prostitute, or a Newcastle stripper,
Oh, yeah, one of the
male
two.
stripper, but it is a 10 centimeter, almost 5-inch spider.
Yes.
So I did some research, because when I got that, I was like, hold on, because you just gotta look that up.
Oh yeah, of course.
And yeah, so here's what I know about them now, because I did some research. Right, first of all, they're aggressive as fuck. They are a hateful creature. Now the thing you've got to understand about this funnel web spider is that basically they're monsters. They're hateful. they hate you. And they're not the type of animal you want hating you. Animals I could deal with hating me. Frogs.
Oh yeah.
No one's ever been like, oh my god, I was just
Attacked by a frog, I'm now
I was just
mortally wounded.
Yeah, no. Frogs are like, okay, if a frog was hateful towards you, you're pretty much gonna be fine.
Yeah, you're going to.
Things that you worry about are not a frog. So if frogs were hateful, the world would be a better place. But no, this spider's hateful, and this spider can penetrate leather shoes.
Yes, it can.
Other things I know. Now, again, the statement made in said video was, again, not entirely true.
Well, yeah.
It's not going to drop an adult in 15 minutes. It has been known to kill at least one child, small child,
Yes.
in under 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And, so that's at least once. So it's happened probably once, maybe more times.
Oh, yeah.
Hard to tell with these things. But, for an adult, you're not going to be dropped in 15 minutes, but it can kill a human. A very small human
Yes.
in 15 minutes.
Yes.
But again, that's a bit there.
I suppose it depends. Adult-wise, it's like, are you out for a run and your heart rate is super high?
It's got more to do with the amount of venom it injects. And
I suppose. Yeah.
Because the larger you are, the more dosage you need to be lethal.
Oh, yeah.
And, even a 10 centimeter spider only has so much.
Yeah, that's true.
Of the good stuff. Okay, so, there's that. Then there's just, the whole thing of, it being colloquially called a big boy by spider enthusiasts. Now, first of all,
Yeah.
spider enthusiasts, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And secondly, Big Boy is a very funny name. As I said, the Newcastle Big Boy really does sound like a male stripper.
Yeah.
But, just not something you want to be killed by, really.
No.
Or,
Hey, what killed him? The Newcastle Big Boy? Oh.
the Big Boy. Or something that you want to be menaced by.
Oh, yeah.
Because you could picture that phone call. Can you come help me? Why? I'm trapped in my car. Why? A big boy.
A big boy. Okay. Are we talking about a big boy or a big boy?
What kind of big boy? But yeah, so, very good name because, humiliation.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
But then, as I said, I did some research. And let me tell you, because I've probably found out the greatest of the worst facts about this spider.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it can survive underwater for 24 hours. So you can't even drown the motherfuckers out.
I did hear that.
You can't even be like, that's okay, I'll just drown these motherfuckers out. No, because they can survive immersed in water for up to 24 hours.
Yeah. I actually did watch something a little while back where it's purely because it's something about all the little fucking fibers sticking off them that holds the air.
They catch bubbles around them.
Yeah, and then they just live using those bubbles, and it's like, oh fuck.
So
they're not the only spider that does that. But holy shit,
it can possibly kill you in 15 minutes depending on your size.
Mm-hmm.
It can breathe on. It can stay underwater for 24 hours.
Yep,
perfectly unscathed. It can punch its fangs through leather.
Yep. And when we say leather, it was talking leather boots, so it's it's not thick.
But also, different boots have different leather.
Yeah.
What I looked at, I was like, okay, that looks just like a kind of more dressy boot than a work boot.
Oh, okay, fair enough then.
But more important than any of that, it is hateful.
Yeah.
and it will come after you with a vengeance. And it's
They'll
like
come after you with a vengeance just because you opened the door to the house you're in.
it's like, bitch, I hate you, and you're like, okay,
Okay, I'm leaving. This is your house.
this is your house.
Bye.
I have it. On the plus side, they don't like to travel during the day. They don't really like to be around us. They don't really want to be around us. They're just trying to get.
They get close and they're like, "I'm gonna kill you."
They're just trying to get it on. Okay,
Yeah.
so they're just like a bunch of teenage boys. Okay, they're just out and about, being aggressive, hateful animals.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like teenage boys.
Exactly.
Probably the best thing about them is that one, they are only in the Newcastle area,
That's a positive.
and the species as a whole, like the whole Sydney funnel web society, there are 3 different species in there because that's how they found out this one wasn't just a Sydney funnel web. It's a specific type. It's the Newcastle funnel web.
Yeah.
There's also the Southern Sydney funnel web.
Yeah.
He has a bit of a funny accent, and no one really likes him.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he had a big shark supporter too.
No.
Love sharks.
Fuck.
No, but so there's 3 of them, but like very rare to see them more than 100 kilometers away from Sydney. Hence why they have the name.
Yeah, no, that's
So,
a real positive for us.
that's-
We are nowhere near that.
That's it. That's the winning part about it.
Oh yeah,
They know where they live,
Yep.
and they fucking like it,
exactly.
and they feel no need to travel anywhere else. But
If it happens, we're screwed.
well, no, I was just being like, if you're in the Sydney area and you want to prank someone, get a box.
Oh.
In the box, close box, send box. When someone opens box, hateful spider.
Oh, and it's going to be so much more hateful. But that's not even hateful at that point. That's something else. It was hateful when it was just near you. Now it's been put in a box and sent somewhere. So it's been knocked around that box for a couple of days.
Hateful spider.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So I got one last thing I kind of want to talk about today.
Yeah.
This one will be quick because we can talk about it another time.
Yeah.
But Kris, I really want to have a Halloween party this year, like a
Yeah.
proper Halloween party. Like get the crew together, get outfits, get costumes. I want to spend way too much on my costume,
Obviously.
and I want to go as a U.S. Marshal from the Old West.
Oh, fuck it.
Yeah. And I want to buy like a proper prop gun that's like $400.
Oh, shit.
Proper good old hat. Get a
Oh.
little Marshal badge. Shave to my mustache, so I've got like a nice little mustache.
Oh, yep.
And just walk around being like, howdy.
Yep.
But yeah, I really want to do it. You know how
Oh,
Jordan's
cool.
been on his whole let's do stuff thing?
Yeah.
I really want to do a Halloween party where the goal is not to just drink and write yourself off, but to actually like have a Halloween party, everyone rock up in costumes, play some good music, have fun,
Yeah.
you know, have a proper Halloween party. I think that
Yeah, no, that
so
would be
much
fun. That would be.
Yeah.
Have a bunch of like little games going on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, not as you said, not just drinking. That would actually be fun.
And
I'm down.
like really encourage everyone to like at least come dressed as something. Like,
Oh yeah.
come in costume. Don't just rock up in like your jeans and a t-shirt and be like, oh, I'm not dressing up. Be like, get fucked, get out here then.
You're gonna show up and you're gonna be the fucking weird one.
Yeah, like everyone just coming full costumes, full sand. Let's have a Halloween party.
Yeah, yeah.
As I said, like if I'm gonna talk to everyone else about it because
Yeah.
as I said, if we're doing this, I need some time because my costume's probably going to cost something like $1,000.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Like I'm well aware of that, and it's gonna take me time as well because between now and then I believe I need to pay for a suit. Fuck.
But yeah, so yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah.
That's what I really want to do. I really want to have it. Really want to have that full.
Yeah, no, I'm down. That sounds like a good idea.
I just like talk to all of our friends, like everyone we know, and just be like, because Halloween this year is on a Friday.
Caleb might even come up for that.
Halloween is on a Friday.
Yeah.
So it's like Friday night, Halloween.
Yeah.
Don't know where we do it. Probably not Jordan's. Unfortunately, we can't have Itachi around.
Yeah,
A lot of people are in costumes and stuff
no,
like
because
that.
you'd wreck the costumes.
You'd wreck the costumes. But like, be like, yeah. Or my other thing is like try and convince the girls at the Heritage to be like, hey, you know what the Heritage should do for Halloween this year? It's on a Friday night. They should have a Halloween party upstairs where
Yeah.
you come in costume, you pay a price for a ticket, like $10, you go upstairs and they have a Halloween party going.
Yeah, no, that would be good.
But like, yeah, as I said, I really want to do that this year. I want to have a proper Halloween party.
I'm down. I'm down for it.
Yeah.
I reckon Anna would be down for it. Jordan probably.
Yeah.
We can get most people. Jacob's up for doing more stuff this year, right? I reckon he'd do it.
My only issue is, right, because as I said, Old West Lawman.
Yeah.
I also want to get like the Spurs and everything as well.
Yeah, fair enough.
Probably couldn't go to the clubs afterwards.
No.
with a realistic pistol and Spurs.
No.
Well, howdy. I'm the new sheriff in town.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be fun. That would be a lot.
Yeah,
of
but
fun.
no, that's what I want to do. I really want to do that this year, and we've got, because it's almost March. It's still
We're a couple of days
technically
away.
tomorrow when you're watching this.
Yes.
We have a lot of time, so it's like we can actually plan it out and be like, okay, what do we actually want at a Halloween party? Like, what kind of things do we want? We want decoration.
We can start planning on where we're gonna have it.
Exactly.
Like depending on what we want to do, that'll depend on where we have it.
And be like, okay, so this is what we could do, this is how we could do it, and then be like, okay, and if we plan it far enough in advance, we can invite like the people from down south up and be like, hey, we're doing this thing, plan to come to it.
Yeah. Yes. No, that would be great.
And be like, yep. And then have just a fucking chill ass, fun ass night.
Yeah, that would be good.
Anyway, I guess that kind of just about wraps us up. Thank you for joining us.
Indeed.
Today was a bit longer than I thought. I really got caught up on that Star Wars thing. Really got caught up on it.
And the Spyro thing.
And the Spyro thing.
Yeah, we were caught up for a while on those two.
But thank you for joining us. If you liked it, consider liking, sharing, commenting, or subscribing. You know the drill at this point. But
Yes.
guys, if you want to see more from me and Chris, check out the rest of the channel. We play a whole variety of video games pretty averagely, because we are average.
One day we'll get better.
No.
I'm sorry, I lied. My bad.
But guys,
I won't do
until
it.
next time, I've been Darcy, he's been Chris.
Indeed.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you next time right here on the channel.
Indeed. See ya.
Finger guns.